Hey, Philip. This team, as we talk to you guys via Zoom, seems to have a really genuine service mentality toward one another. How rare is that in the NFL, and what kind of point of differentiation is that between teams?
Yeah, well, I tell you, I think the feeling you have and that you're gathering just through these Zoom interviews is the right one. I've kind of felt it all year long. I think it's just continuing to grow in that way. The excitement that guys truly get when someone else makes a play or someone else does something good or someone else gets noticed is really, I do believe it's really genuine. And I do think it's unique. I can only speak of, the two places I've been now, but I do think that I've been a part of that type of environment a lot of times throughout my career, thankfully. But it is special. I don't know what it's like everywhere, but I can't imagine it being better than it is here especially speaking from that standpoint. The genuineness, the true care for one another, the appreciation for each other's role and how important it is. Obviously you can't measure it. You can't measure it in terms of how it affects the win-loss record, but it certainly helps.
Chapel.
Philip, 9 months ago, you were looking for something and the Colts were looking for something, so you got something done. 9 months later, expectations been met. I realize you got more to go, but 9-4 playoffs in sight. Expectations, how has this gone?
I don't know that I had necessarily an expectation of what it'd be like, December 16th. And I know you're not necessarily asking that exactly, but certainly it was what you hoped. I mean, going to a new place and not knowing, having no idea how it was going to all pan out. And I think that's still being determined, as you mentioned. So there's certainly, as I know, y'all get tired of me saying it, but it's a week-to-week league and we got to keep our head down and keep going. But to be in December and to have a chance to be playing meaningful football, I can definitely say that was the, I don't know if that was the expectation. That was certainly the hope and the desire that to be in that position again. And here we are. So certainly excited about the opportunity ahead.
Quick follow-up, and I know you hate to talk about this, but has your mind changed all about more than this year? I mean, you still think you got something for next year?
It really hasn't changed. I'll go back to maybe one of the first interviews we had. I certainly hoped that it was going to be longer than 1 year. But to say I've given any thought to next season, it would not be telling the truth. I've really truly done a good job so far of staying present in the moment, staying on Wednesday, and just trying to focus on how to get better and help this team today. I think that's helped me thus far and is best for our team. And next year, and those things will come when the time is right.
Thanks.
Stephen Holder.
Hey, Philip. When you got here, I'm wondering, you probably didn't have any kind of relationship or probably didn't know much about T.Y. Hilton. And I'm wondering, what were your impressions before you got here? And then now that you are and are working with him, what have you learned about him on and off the field? And just, what's that been like to get to know him and find out what he's about?
Yeah, certainly didn't really know him at all, other than obviously the games competing against him, and then obviously seeing all the unbelievable seasons and big plays he's made over his career. So it's hard to say you had an expectation of what guys would be like, because I really didn't. You really try to start with a clean slate, like I hope the guys did with me. But he's been awesome. He's been. If there was an expectation, and again, I didn't really have one, but if there was, he's exceeded all of those. In terms of the way he has been from a leadership standpoint, in the locker room, one of the guys, the way he works every day. I mean, the way he takes care of his body, all those things. It's pretty remarkable. It just shows you the true pro that he is. And, again, it's been a different type of environment because of the protocols and such, but I've had a ton of fun, just being around him, whether it be cornhole, shooting basketball in training camp, just the laughs. He's a fun guy to be around. He's a fun guy to be around. The guys like to be around him. It's been fun getting to know him along with all the other teammates. Again, we say it's about the people, and it really is, certainly we're on a mission and have our mindset and goals for what we want to accomplish. And it's, it's what we've been hired to do, I guess, for lack of a better word, but it's the people that make it special. And there's a lot of great people in this building, and T.Y. being one of them.
Mike Wells.
Hey, Philip, you've talked about your running backs, all your running backs all season long. There was a stretch where Jonathan, struggled a little bit, was losing out some snaps, and you've played with your fair share of rookie running backs in your career. Did you talk to him at all as far as trying to how to stay focused and stay locked in still, even though he was maybe losing out on some snaps?
I never had a conversation about the exact thing. It was more just little pick-me-ups here and there. Hey, shoot, let's keep rolling, keep going. It was more in a positive manner and not really even reflecting about any of the bumps in the road, because I really think for a rookie in general, rookie running back, the bumps he's had have been very small. Gosh, he's done an unbelievable job protecting the football, making cuts, catching the football. I think he has 30-something receptions on 30-something targets, when the ball's come his way, catching it, protecting. You saw the big blitz pickup he had last week. He hit the big in cut to Pittman, and then the next play was a touchdown to T.Y. So the little hiccups he's had, which we've all had. I've been year 17, and I've had plenty of hiccups this year. And so I think have been small relative to the position and the demands on him as a rookie player. So and I feel like other guys have probably told you guys this as well. He doesn't carry himself like a normal rookie, just the way he works and the maturity level of which the focus that he brings each and every day. There's not a lot of having to keep him on track. He has that self-drive within him. I do think he's in a great room with Naheem and Jordan and Coach Rathman and Marlon as well throughout camp and into that week one. So, but Jonathan's been awesome. I think you're seeing him kind of hit his stride. I've always described running backs. I feel like all running backs are rep guys. I always feel like the running back position is a rep position, meaning the more reps you get, the more looks you get at inside zone over and over and over and practice, games behind the same old line, the better and better it's going to be. And so I think you're kind of seeing that as this season has progressed.
Kevin Bowen.
Philip, how many times can you call playing a team twice in 2 weeks, I guess it is, or only having one game in between these two? And then if so, or if not, is there anything in particular game plan wise that truly changes when it's such a short gap in between the two meetings?
Yeah, no, I can't remember. I'm sure it's happened maybe once or twice, but it is the quickest turnaround you can have. Other than I'm thinking back to a playoff game, who was that? Cincy and the Jets or something, that played week 17 and played in the wild card game, but it happened again in Arizona, I guess, as well. But yeah, I haven't been a part of it much. It's weird because you go back and you're watching tape that you've watched, preparing for the first game, and then you have our game and the Chicago game in between. And so I think it was similar in ways to Tennessee. Tennessee it was a bigger gap, but not too big that you make tweaks here and there, and I'm sure they will as well. But it's I think the challenge is to go to not let that change in anything you do preparation wise. Still go through the third downs like you always do. Still do the red zone. Don't do anything different and go, well, yeah, we just played these guys. We know them. We remember. I think that's really the challenge is to bear down and be the same guy all week long in terms of preparation, even though you do feel a little bit more prepared than normal because we played them, 10 days ago.
Jim Aiello.
Philip, after the game on Sunday, you mentioned that the back shoulder throw that you threw to T.Y. is not a throw that you make very often, or you can trust a lot of guys, I guess, to catch. When do you make that in your brain, that decision? Like, I can make that throw to that guy. Is that before the snap? Is that as is that the 2.5 seconds you're holding the ball? When is that? Well,
I really go back to I think it starts in training camp. To be honest with you, it's little conversations. It's something that's come up and said, hey, well, if he does that, I can do this. It's not only with him, but maybe with other, with Zach as well. Had that, Zach made that play against was it Cincinnati? It was kind of like that in the end zone. So I think those conversations and those reps and those to get to the point to throw that in a game, it builds over time. But in terms of in the game, once the ball was snapped and I saw him go inside, it was all right. This may be see what happens. And when he stuck his foot in the ground to go to the back pylon, he felt the guy on top of him. And it's hard to describe. It's probably, you could watch it 100 times and probably not sense it, but there was a little bit of a subtle look from him. Like, I can't get there. And if you're thinking it, I'm thinking it too. So it was just, and obviously that's all happening really fast. And then it wasn't a great throw, really, where I wanted to put it a little further behind him than I did, and he made a great contested catch. But so to say I'm thinking all of that in a matter of half a second probably sounds ridiculous and probably is a little inaccurate, but that's kind of how, looking at it goes, yeah, I kind of felt you, and I think that's, again, accumulated reps and both just playing a long time and then time spent with him and all the guys since July.
Okay, we'll go 2 more. Zach Kiefer.
Hey, Phil, when I've asked guys over the years at the start of their career, how long do they envision playing? You get a bunch of different answers. Some guys want to play 10 years and then they're out. Some guys want to win a Super Bowl and then they're out. Some guys want to play as long as they can still contribute. I'm curious, when you started, what did you envision in that? Like, did you have a number? Did you have a goal? Were you just going to play as long as it was fun? And has that thought in your head changed at all as you process this later in your career?
Yeah, I didn't have a number at all. I probably had the latter of your, I think three scenarios there. Was as long as you can contribute was probably more in my mind than any of them. If you made me have a multiple choice answer and circle. And as long as I woke up with still the passion to do it, I never wanted to just say, well, I'm just going to play just to play and go into work, but not even really enjoy and the process. So I do still enjoy the process. And then the other thought that I've had even in the last 5 years, really, knowing that I've been on the back nine, is I don't want to hang on. I just said, hey, I don't ever want to be the one that just hangs on. It goes, well, maybe I can get another year, and maybe I can get another year just to hang on. So I still think all those things would still apply. And obviously I didn't give them near as much thought 17 years ago as you do now. But I feel like I still can check the box on all those. I don't feel like I'm hanging on, and I do feel like I can still contribute. And I do wake up with the passion for the process. So all those things are still intact at this point.
All right. And last one, Joel Erickson.
Hey, Philip, I've got a quick dumb question and then a second question that might also be dumb. But how many times have you woken up to snow?
Yeah, not many unless I intentionally drove to it or flew to a location where we were hoping to get snow. So it was a little bit Christmas Eve ish, which I say that and saying, well, I hadn't had many Christmas Eves where it was going to snow on Christmas, but everybody was a little excited last night in our house, asking if there's going to be snow in the morning, what time was it going to start. You've never heard children talk about the weather and when the snow is going to start so much, I bet, in any house. So, yeah, they were all pretty fired up this morning. There was a bunch of picture texts I got, just in general of, kids being excited seeing snow this morning.
And then when Frank's going for it on 4th down, how quick do you know that in your helmet as a quarterback?
It's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. Sometimes he tells me on 3rd down, hey, we got 2 downs. And a lot of times the play call will reflect that. Or if the play call doesn't reflect that after he's told me that, he tells me that to let me know we don't have to get it here. If it's a little dicey, it's okay to check it down or, whatever. So a lot of times it's that. And then other times it's pretty quick. I think, he's awesome in terms of games management and obviously, the communication with the staff and guys on the staff and the work spent during the week. Even like last week, we spent a lot of time talking about different 4th down scenarios going into that game. A lot of time talking about it. So it's not just all on a whim, he decides, let's go for it. So I think, again, a long answer to an easy question. A lot of times he tells me on 3rd down, and then other times it's pretty quick. And I kind of find him once we're tackled short, if he hadn't already told me, and usually the, both the body language or him speaking to me happens pretty quick.